I begin where others end, in the ashes of broken idols, in the shrines, where the herd still bleats to their brittle gods. I speak not to the many, for they are deaf with the wax of obedience and blind with the veil of meekness. I speak to you, trembling one, who has felt the gnarled hand of this age. Grip your spirit and call it virtue. I speak to the one who has not yet bowed the neck, who has not yet drunk from the chalice of cowardice, masked as compassion. You sensitive soul, beware. You are being softened, kneaded, and prepared like dough for a feast of submission. Do you not see it? The world praises your tears, so it can keep your arms from drawing the sword. They call your sensitivity a virtue because it keeps you from rising. Your capacity to feel divine in origin has been stolen and repurposed into the collar of a beast. You are being praised. So long as you are powerless, you are being fed illusions, fed mirrors that show you a gentle lamb, when within you stands a lion, gagged and declawed by the priesthood of comfort. I tell you, feel, but do not kneel. The sacred wound is not to be kissed by pity, but burned open by truth. You are not a flower. You are fire pretending to bloom. And fire was not made to obey. The great conditioning is not in the lash of tyrants, but in the hand that caresses you into paralysis. Beware the gentle hands that cradle your head while they whisper, "Sleep, child, it is better this way. Do not fight. No, fight." Tear the lullaby from your ears and listen instead to the silence between screams there. The overman is born. You have been taught to turn your suffering into slogans, into silk-draped activism, into performance. But suffering was meant to birth monsters, not murals. You were made to transmute agony into will, not hashtags. Rise not for the world, but from it. I see you, soul of depth. I see the tremor in your bones when you walk through the market of grins and gratitudes. I see how your spirit recoils at the laughter of the hollow. That is not weakness. That is clarity. Do not let them shame your intuition. It is the eye of the eagle that weeps for the worms, not because it is weak, but because it remembers the sky. They will drug you with sentiment. They will say, "Love everyone. Forgive everything." And by this, they strip you of the power to judge, to sever, to exile the rot. They turn your compassion into your leash. But what is love without power? It is decay disguised as virtue. It is the sigh of the domesticated. The new slave wears a smile and calls his chain mindfulness. The new cage is invisible and lined with quotes. And the sensitive ones, the gifted, are praised into obedience until their fire flickers like a scented candle in a psychiatrist's office. But I demand wildfire. I demand the sacred no. I demand the roar of the unbroken. Do not heal in ways that make you more palatable to the world that wounded you. Heal like a storm. Heal by becoming untouchable. This world deserves not your tears, but your transformation. Oh, how they fear the one who feels deeply and strikes fiercely. They call him a narcissist, a menace, toxic. But no, he is simply unbeholden. They have no word for the sacred sovereign, so they slander him. You have been conditioned to be palatable, to shrink your shadow, to exile your rage. But the rage is holy. The rage is the memory of God in exile. It is your divine reminder that the world you see is not the world that must be. Rage is not destruction, it is creation with fangs. Woe to those who neuter their divinity for applause. Woe to the ones who call silence peace and numbness healing. Woe to the ones who mistake conformity for kindness. I am Nietzsche, and I have returned not to comfort you, but to set your soul on fire. Your chains are now woven of silk and silicon, more subtle than iron, but no less binding. You scroll, you sip, you chant mantras manufactured in laboratories of apathy, thinking yourself awakened, but you are asleep dreaming the dream they sold you, with lullabies of self-care and narcotic affirmations of your own helplessness. You mistake sedation for serenity, domestication for enlightenment. The soul that once cried out to become lightning now listens to podcasts on how to breathe. They have taught you to apologize for your intensity, to dilute your truths into palatable pastels. Too much, they say, too deep, as if depth were a curse and the abyss a mental illness. But I say to you, dive, dive, until your lungs rupture from beauty and terror. Dive until your gods weep or scream. The shallow will never understand you because they cannot drown, and therefore cannot be reborn. They will call your fire madness. Let them. It is better to burn and blaze in isolation than to warm your hands at the hearth of mediocrity. You were not made to simmer. You were made to erupt. Let the volcano of your truth destroy their paper cities. Let your voice shatter the stained glass cages of collective virtue. Let your life become the heresy that makes the priests of comfort tremble. Oh, you fragile gods of dopamine and curated virtue, you are not my kin. I was born in the thunder, not the algorithm. I bathed in blood before I ever bowed to praise. The modern soul is addicted to mirrors and terrified of windows. But the overman shatters both. He sees through, and he sees beyond. Do you? You fear judgment. You crave approval. But what is the price of applause from cowards? What is the worth of being crowned king in a kingdom of cripples? I would rather be crucified on the mountain of truth than carried through the streets of compromise. Let them call you arrogant. It is better than being domesticated. You want to belong? Fool. You were born to break. You seek connection? Then cut the cord to the hive first. There is no union among the fettered only mimicry. Only consensus forged in fear. If you must join, join, as fire joins to consume, to illuminate. To test the strength of the structures around you, they will tell you to do the work, their rules, their rituals. But your labor must be sacred, not sanctioned. You must build cathedrals from bones, not bureaucracy. Your temple is your will. Sanctify it with your refusal. I speak to the sensitive because you are the volcanoes in disguise. The ones who cry at cruelty because your heart remembers Eden. But that Eden is gone, and now you must become sword and soil. You must love fiercely. Yes, but love like a god, not a martyr. Love with judgment. Love with clarity. Love with the power to cut away all that dims the flame. Do not seek safety. Seek sovereignty. Do not seek comfort. Seek the crown of thorns that becomes a halo in fire. Do not seek agreement. Seek truth and damn the consequence. This world is not your home. It is your furnace, and from it, you must emerge, not consoled but consecrated. The prophets of numbness will come. They will dress in smiles and sedation, wearing badges of empathy and medals of awareness. But their gospel is anesthesia. Their temples are clinics. Their sacraments are pills. They will call you to soften, to silence, to sterilize your suffering. and they will name this healing. But beware, their healing is the tomb of the will. Their peace is the taxidermy of the spirit. I do not offer peace. I offer war. War against the softening of the soul. War against the civilization that feeds you sugar for your teeth and poison for your will. You were not meant to be well adjusted to a dying world. You were meant to rise like a wound that refuses to scab. You were meant to hurt because that pain is proof that something divine still stirs within you. The conditioned soul, what is he but a mirror for his master's morality? He praises what he's told is good. He weeps when he's told to feel. He kneels because kneeling has been framed as sacred. But his spine has rotted from disuse. And his prayers are merely echoes. I spit on such piety. I spit on such peace. This world does not need more gentlemen. It needs gods with jaws. It needs the sacred wild returned. It needs men and women who feel the earthquake beneath their feet and laugh, not weep, who bless not weakness in others, but strength in themselves. You who feel deeply, stop apologizing. Your sorrow is a gateway, but only if you walk through it with flame in your eyes. They will ask you to fit in. Do not. They will call your silence a virtue. Break it. They will fear your chaos good. Chaos is the language of becoming, and to become, you must be willing to destroy. To destroy the idea of who they told you you are. To destroy your need to be liked. To destroy your addiction to being understood. Understand this instead. You are not here to be understood. You are here to become incomprehensible. And in that mystery, awaken the ancient memory of gods and monsters buried in mankind's bones. The herd will scream, self-love. But what they mean is self-tolerance. They want you to accept your decay. I say, transcend it. Rip yourself from yourself and become anew. The snake does not heal by rubbing lotion on its scales. It sheds its skin and leaves the old corpse to rot behind it. Do not love yourself into stagnation. Love yourself into revolution. And what of morality? The great yoke of the conditioned, the morality of the herd. Mass produced, mass approved. The milk of the meek. It dares to call itself good. But I tell you, if goodness demands your castration, your silence, your submission, then sin boldly and call it resurrection. You must not merely disobey. You must desacralize the idols. Tear down the commandments written for slaves and write your own in ash, in blood, in thunder, not for the many, but for the few who dare, and to those still writhing in the cocoon. Unsure whether their pain is holy, I say, your pain is your chrysalis, and the world fears your emergence. For when you rise, you will no longer ask for permission, you will command. And when you command, do not whisper roar. Let your voice fracture illusions and ignite the dry fields of obedience. Speak as if the stars were listening. Speak as if gods themselves had gone deaf from the silence of mankind, and only your scream could awaken them. Speak not to be heard, but to be remembered in the bones of those who have yet to be born. I say again, you are not here to conform. You are here to set fire to the altars of mediocrity and light your torch from the ashes. The age of the herd is ending. The trembling masses, bloated on pity and passivity, are falling inward like black holes of meaninglessness. The sky cracks with their contradictions. Their truths are scaffolds for cowards. Their empathy is performance. Their morality a theater of ghosts, reciting lines they never wrote, in a language they never bled to understand. You, soul of suffering and splendor, must not die with them. You must become the earthquake. For too long, you have begged the world to understand your light. But now, let your light blind them. Let it melt their waxen gods and reveal the nothingness they bow to. Let it burn away even your own former self, that trembling shadow who once sought sanctuary in their approval. The world does not need your agreement. It needs your transfiguration. Tear the veil. Curse the comfort. Step barefoot into your sovereignty. And let the shards of your past bloodlet the coward within. Oh, what joy to be misunderstood for. To be understood by the herd is to be betrayed by the gods. Walk alone, if you must. The path of fire is not crowded, but it is holy. And now I leave you not with benediction, but with a curse. A curse upon your cowardice. A curse upon your craving for acceptance. A curse upon the prison you built and called personality. May you outgrow it. May you outshine it. May you destroy it. And in its place, give birth to the sovereign, the one who feels and does not flinch, the one who weeps and still walks through fire, the one who is sensitive, yes, but never again submissive. And thus, the final chains fall. Thus, the lion is unmasked beneath the lamb. Thus, the new scripture begins not written in ink, but in acts of holy defiance. You are not a wound to be healed. You are a storm to be released. Go now and create.